Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
It's Friday the 14th. I know that's not as scary as Friday the 13th. But today, Friday, December the 14th, is National Alabama Day. It is also National Bouillabaisse Day and is National Salesperson Day. So salespeople, get out there and, make a sale. Let people know when you're trying to sell them something. Today's National Salesperson Day. You should give me a gift and say yes. Now we'll have salespeople coming to see us. It's also Friday the 14th. I've got a quote for you today from Dennis P. Kimbrough. Life is 10% what happens to us and 90% how we react to it. That is so true. I've seen people react in the dumbest ways. And you're like, if you would have just done this, you probably wouldn't have gotten fired. I mean, they would have given you a warning. I'm not pointing at Heidi. It wasn't something. I'm just saying.
I've never been fired.
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm just saying I've seen the dumbest things happen. It's how you respond. And we have people that maybe right now are wondering about the economy and all the money they're spending on Christmas stuff. We're going to talk to Jordan Goodman to see how we are responding to that. I get a feeling that our credit card debt is going up because I read a little story, so I'm going to have to ask him about that. But Jordan Goodman, America's Money Answers Man, coming up later on today's program.
Want to honor a veteran? Consider giving to Veterans Tickets Foundation, a national nonprofit who supports our currently serving military, veterans, and family members of those we've lost in action by providing them with free tickets to sporting events, concerts, performing arts, and family activities. VetTix is dedicated to giving back to those who gave us so much. Learn how you can help at vettix.org. VetTix.org.
Time now for Is It a Golf Course or Is It a Rehab Center? Heidi, tell me this one here. South Hills, Eugene, Oregon. Is it a golf course or is it a rehab center?
I'm going to say golf course.
Ooh, sorry. No golf clap for Heidi. It is a rehab center. South Hills. That does sound like a golf course.
It does.
Which, once again, is why we play this
That's
game.
why we play the game.
Yeah. Once again, is it a golf course or is it a rehab center? Brought to you by TimeForRehab.com. We're getting to the time of year where we start planning for holiday parties and other events that often include alcohol. I encourage you to have some alcohol-free options as well. And if you are drinking, be sure to have a designated driver. If you or someone you know has a problem with drugs or alcohol, there is help. TimeForRehab.com would love to connect you with someone who can be there for you or that loved one. If you feel like it's time to finally get the help you need, we're here for you. TimeForRehab.com. That's TimeForRehab.com. And this is your brain on drugs. According to the Lake County Sheriff's Office, a Florida doctor peed on himself and repeatedly confessed his love for a deputy. What? Deputy said employee from a restaurant called to report the staff kicked the man out, later identified as Mohammed Sholdri, because he was too intoxicated. 15 minutes later, an employee from Publix on the highway there called 911 to report a silver car was being driven in circles in their parking lot. Affidavit shows that it was him, had bloodshot, glassy eyes, smelled of booze. He was unable to stand without swaying and unable to maintain balance. The arresting deputy said he continuously stated that he loved me over and over, and he had urinated on himself. He was charged with DUI, second offense, and refusal to submit to a breathalyzer. So there you go.
The whole "I love you, man."
Oh, man,
that's a dead giveaway. You don't even need the field sobriety test.
Don't give me a DUI, man. I love you. Yeah, that's probably not going to help. Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen. Former Mighty Ducks actor Shaun Weiss, who played hockey goalie in the movie, he was arrested for shoplifting at a Los Angeles Rite Aid.
That's sad.
That is very sad. I remember that. That had Emilio Estevez and a whole bunch of kiddos back in the 80s or 90s. Was that 90s? Probably 90s.
Probably 90s, yeah.
So anyway, that's too bad. I've got a link to the story if you want to see what that kid looks like today. It's a mugshot. It's not good.
Sad.
Ben Affleck's ex, Shauna Sexton, revealed that they had a relationship with a lot of ups and downs, and he left her really scared. Now, here's the thing. They were dating for like 3 weeks, weren't they?
I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure.
I really don't pay any attention to Ben Affleck.
And again, I don't either, but I do remember it was about the same time they started dating, and then he went into rehab. So they were only together for like a week before he went to rehab. So it must have been a very eventful week.
Well, if he needed to go to rehab, maybe he was having some serious issues.
I understand. I just think it's an interesting. So, what did they expect as a quote from her? It was an awesome week.
Right.
No,
It's not going to be positive.
Otherwise, he wouldn't have gone to rehab.
And they would still be together.
Probably. Yes. Thanks for listening. This has been Big Screen, Little Screen.
Every day, approximately 23 U.S. military veterans take their own lives. Big Paws Canine Foundation is helping to decrease that number, providing service and companion dogs to our disabled veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty. Partnering a hero with a specifically trained dog significantly reduces the incidence of suicide, and your support makes all the difference. Find out how you can help our American heroes. Join the pack at BigPawsCanine.com.
Now your scoop of the day, brought to you by FunkyMonkeyShirts.com. The makers of Oreo cookies have released a miniature turntable that is powered by Oreo cookies. What?
What?
I don't know why you need that. I'm just saying, if you put that on your Christmas list, you might have a problem.
You clearly have everything you need.
Everything
that's
else
what's
you
on
need.
your Christmas list.
I just think that's a bizarre thing. But I do have a link to it if you want to see it because, I mean, why not, right? Miniature Oreo cookie turntable. I don't understand that. A study by Solidar Suisse found that, I probably said all of that wrong. Anyway, they found that Disney's Chinese factory workers make the equivalent of 85 cents an hour.
Oh, wow.
The report also claims that low wages force employees there to work huge amounts of overtime. So that's really sad. That's in the Disney
really
Chinese
sad.
factory. So when you're buying the toys, the Disney toys, for your kids, the kids that made them got 85 cents an hour to build them. That's really,
Wow.
I just think that's really sad. I've got a link to the story if you want to read all the details and maybe even read it with the proper pronunciation when you do it. Also, a new study by the European Health Journal found that getting too much sleep can be dangerous for your health. So it's not safe or healthy to not get enough sleep, Heidi, but it's also now dangerous to get too much sleep. Should they just tell us get this much sleep? Wouldn't that be the best way to do it?
That would be great.
Yeah. How much is too much? I don't know. Maybe I have to click this link. I'm not gonna. I don't have time
You
for
need
that.
8 hours of sleep.
I don't get 8 hours of sleep. For
Well,
me,
you
6.
need 8 hours of sleep.
6
that
hours
could
of sleep.
possibly be why your voice hasn't come back completely, because you
What are
don't get
talking
any
about?
rest.
My voice is just fine.
It does keep cracking. It still
I've
sounds
noticed that.
very weak.
I just did that on purpose, but if I get too much sleep, I'm crabby. Have you noticed that?
You need to rest.
I don't want to rest. You can't make me do it. So anyway, European Health Journal found getting too much sleep is dangerous for your health. A group of male students at the University of Notre Dame have started a movement to get porn banned from all college campuses, handing out leaflets that outline all of the horrible things that porn depicts and talking about the dangers of what that can do. I know families that have actually been torn apart because of it, so I understand that. I went to an event one time at a church. Remember this? It was called Porn and Pancakes.
Yeah, because I made fun of you the whole
She's like, "Are you
week.
seriously going to that?" I was like, "I want to go." It's a Christian event, and it was talking about, it's not what you were thinking, because she had a whole lot of fun with that, but it was a cool event.
No, really, everything's sticky because of the syrup.
Would you just stop? Why do I even bring these things up in here? I shouldn't have even talked about this. I have a link to this story if you're interested in more details on it. And then the very next story. So you got one group saying, hey, we should do away with this because it's, ruining young men's lives and women's lives too. Next story, over 450,000 people. So that's an even bigger number. Over 450,000 people have signed a Change.org petition urging Tumblr to lift their ban on porn. So you got one group saying, hey, we should really try to get this under control. Another group saying, hey,
we want more.
Did you notice that group was a lot bigger? That's really sad. Police shut down a cheesecake.
I'm not a fan of restricting people's individual rights
No,
for
I
any
understand
reason.
that.
So
I understand that. But, we should be able to make decisions on our own.
If you want to do things,
Yeah,
that's
I see
totally
that.
up to you.
I see where you're going there. This is an interesting story. Police had to shut down a cheesecake giveaway after roads were clogged and fights broke out at a Virginia cheesecake factory.
Well, then.
Well, I'm not the only fatty out there that likes cheesecake. Good to know.
I will take you out.
Okay, I would have got there early and parked real close. All right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Are you trying to find the perfect gift for someone with a good sense of humor? FunkyMonkeyShirts.com has a good selection of funny t-shirts and more. Some with Christmas themes. One that even replaces the ugly Christmas sweater for your next party. Find some silly shirts at FunkyMonkeyShirts.com. Also, learn how you can sell your own designs to make some extra Christmas cash. There's a link at the bottom of the page at FunkyMonkeyShirts.com. FunkyMonkeyShirts.com. That's FunkyMonkeyShirts.com.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on this Friday. It's time to reach out to Jordan Goodman. He is America's Money Answers Man. About once a month, we connect with him. We talk about financial things. And today we're going to chat with Jordan about Christmas and all the holidays that we have coming up at the end of this month. There are people spending a lot of money right now, aren't there, Jordan?
Record levels, yeah. When we get the numbers, it's probably going to be something like $50 billion in new credit card debt taken on during December. Not that long ago, we had Cyber Monday. It was the largest shopping day in American history, over $8 billion purchased in that one day alone.
Wow, $8 billion in one day.
One day, that's correct. So, I mean, consumer confidence is strong. Unemployment is low. People are feeling pretty good in various ways. And when Americans feel good, they go out and spend. And they spend on credit cards. That's the way it's working. There was another survey and found that 40% of the people said they're going to buy Christmas gifts knowing in advance they don't have the money to pay the bills when they come in January, and they're going to go ahead and do it anyway.
So they're going to go and buy it on credit, and then that just increases that credit card debt. There's quite a bit of credit card debt already out there, but this is going to just kind of lay that right on top of it, isn't it? $1
trillion. We have over $1 trillion in credit card debt outstanding now. And again, this is add maybe $50 billion, something like that, to it. And at very high interest rates. If you're paying 18 or 25% or some ridiculously high rate, it really, really does add up. So let me give some help there, John, because you don't have to pay these ridiculously high interest rates.
Awesome. Let's talk about some of the places we can go to maybe help on that situation.
There's a free website called guide2creditcard.com where you get all the best deals depending on your situation. You can get frequent flyer miles if you want to take trips. You can get cash rebates of like 5% on anything you spend. You can get low interest rates on cards that are permanently low, 0% balance transfer offers. There's just a lot of different deals depending on your situation as to what's best for you. So there's an objective source to get you the best deal, guide2creditcard.com. So that's the first thing you can do.
All right.
The second thing you can do is if you have a lot of credit card debt at high interest rates and you can't get new credit cards, you don't want to get new credit cards, you should do a non-profit credit counseling place. They already have deals with the credit card companies you couldn't get on your own, and you get a rate of 6, 7, 8%, something like that. They will combine all your debt into one payment at a lower rate with what's called a debt management plan, or DMP. You then pay them. They pay the creditors, and depending on the numbers, in 2, 3, 4 years, you're out of debt, and it's considered a neutral in your credit score. My favorite national nonprofit is called Cambridge Credit Counseling. Their website, cambridgecredit.org. Their phone number, 800-897-2200. I know they've helped a lot of your listeners in the past. I get emails from you folks as well.
Nice.
And there's a way of getting 6, 7, 8% instead of 25% or whatever it may be, and help you get out from under this huge pile of debt, which seems like if you pay the minimums, it could take you 30 years to pay it off, John. It's just crazy.
And you were telling, I know when we've talked about this in the past, that does not mark as a negative when you do that. It kind of marks as a neutral. Is that right?
Correct. Exactly. It's considered a neutral. Now, the cards that you consolidate with them are going to be closed, so you may have a step back when you lose that credit history. But what you're trying to do is get out of debt, and that's the way of doing it, because otherwise, if you just pay the minimums, you'll never get out of debt, basically, is what happens. And now people are adding to it even more with all this holiday spending.
All right. I'm going to throw a link to these in our show notes as well to make it easy to find. Now, we talk to Jordan about once a month because he's literally written the book on this subject. You've written several. Was it 13 books that you're up to now?
13 books. The latest one is called Master Your Debt. And there is a website for that, master-yourdebt.com, which goes into all these things. Got to get out of debt, improve your credit score, paying off mortgages. I mean, this is a huge problem. We have about $13 trillion in consumer debt these days. Car loan debt, student loan debt. We've talked about a lot of these things, John, and it's just a huge burden on an awful lot of people.
Well, we'll throw a link to the book as well and a link right to your website, so if people want to reach out and connect with you with questions, they can certainly do that. Jordan, thank you so much for all that you do to help us every month. I really do appreciate it.
Thanks so much, and I hope all your listeners have happy holidays.
Absolutely. Again, Jordan Goodman, he is America's Money Answers Man. His website, moneyanswers.com. I've got a link to that and all of the other stuff we talked about in today's program. You'll find all of that in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
John and Heidi.
If you want to grow your business, you can add more customers or sell more stuff to your current customers or a combination of both. There's no other way to grow your business. Just those two. Add more customers or sell more stuff to your current customers. And if you already have a relationship with your customers and you have their email address, you can reach out to them with special offers to easily grow your sales, and you'll make your customers even happier. Let the experts at Constant Contact help. Get a free trial now. Text Radio Trial to number 22828. That's Radio Trial, all one word, to number 22828.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
You can hire a scary clown to terrify children in Switzerland. There's a place there that the Switzerland, I don't know what his name is. It says hire a clown in Switzerland to stalk your kid and creepily smash a cake into their face on their birthday.
Oh, wow.
As if nice clowns weren't terrifying enough. So you can get a scary clown to smash a cake in someone's face. Someone's going to get shot doing this.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen these clown videos where somebody's messing around. You're going to do that to the wrong person, and they're going to defend themselves.
I would never sick this poor clown on our son. He
No,
does conceal
absolutely.
carry.
Yeah.
And that clown would be gone.
So that's just a terrible idea, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. If you're
But
into
our
that
daughter,
kind of
on the other hand, I
like,
might line that up.
What's it going to cost us? All right. Thanks for listening to today's Fun Fact.
FreshPatch.com is making dogs like me happy. They send out real grass pads for us to use indoors. Now when it's cold outside, I can go inside. And when I've used up the real grass patch, the mailman brings me a new Fresh Patch. It's the best idea since doggy treats. Convince your mommy to try it today. I suggest you try Puppy Dog Eyes. FreshPatch.com. Use promo code RADIO to save 10%. That's FreshPatch.com, promo code RADIO.
Time now for the Grandiloquent Word of the Day. We appreciate you, by the way, at the Grandiloquent Word World Headquarters for submitting these stories each day and getting them to us so we have something to talk about. I mean, if we didn't have this, what else would we talk about?
Oh, I don't know.
I mean,
whatever would we do?
It could turn into like a pointless break where we talk about something that doesn't matter. But instead, we have words like this one, minic. Minic, M-I-N-N-I-C-K, minic. What do you think a minic is?
I have no idea.
To be or act overly dainty whilst eating. So like if you put up your pinky, that would be minic. Also, to behave in a fussy way, especially with regards to foods one chooses to eat. I'm quite minic. Sorry, I can't eat that. I'm very minic. Why do I do a British accent when I use these words?
I do not know.
And it's not a good one, even. I don't know why I do that. I guess I'm just a weirdo. Maybe I'm a bit of a minic and a cynic. That's the minic, by the way, is today's Grandiloquent Word.
Want to honor a veteran? Consider giving to Veterans Tickets Foundation, a national nonprofit who supports our currently serving military, veterans, and family members of those we've lost in action by providing them with free tickets to sporting events, concerts, performing arts, and family activities. VetTix is dedicated to giving back to those who gave us so much. Learn how you can help at vettix.org. VetTix, T-I-X.org.
I got some weird news for you, brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. Police in North Carolina say a man shot and wounded his son on Thanksgiving after a heated argument about football. They were arguing about the NFL kneeling during the national anthem, and this argument went all the way to a gunfight. They say a 21-year-old Esteban Marley Valencia and his brother argued during dinner about the protest. News outlets report 51-year-old Jorge Luis Valencia
51
told the officers that they physically attacked the other son, so he retrieved a shotgun. A shotgun? Holy cow. They started throwing furniture that hit him in the face with a water bottle afterwards. He said he'd been holding the gun by its pistol grip, squeezed the trigger. He was shot in the hand and leg, taken to a hospital for treatment. Wowzers. You know, don't get a gun out when you're arguing with family about something. It's a bad idea. Now, if there's
of course it's a bad idea.
If there's an intruder that's like threatening your family, that's when you get the gun out. But when your kids are arguing over football, no, gun doesn't come out for that. It's a bad idea. We'll end up right here in the weird news. Now your moment of duh, brought to you by FunkyMonkeyShirts.com. You know, our weird news could have been a moment of duh today as well. That was not smart. But police in Lincoln, Nebraska arrested a 35-year-old man for failing to comply with an officer during a traffic stop when he said, "I didn't register my vehicle because of my personal beliefs." Stephen Logan was pulled
yeah,
over.
that's not how it works, dude.
He parked his car. Police say they started walking. He started walking away from his vehicle. Officer told him to stop. He refused and kept walking. So they grabbed his arm, and that's when they noticed Logan had a firearm, and they detained him. Asked for his personal ID. Told the officer, "Due to my personal beliefs, I'm not required to register my vehicle."
Yeah.
He found out he was wrong. He was arrested for failing to comply, arrested for not having insurance, and arrested for no valid registration.
No insurance.
The sad thing is, there are people who will go onto websites and they'll watch videos of people saying, "Oh, you don't have to do this. You can do." It's a terrible idea. Just do what you're supposed to do.
And it will. Yeah. You most likely won't even get a ticket anyway, as long as you weren't being stupid.
I've been pulled over a lot because in my younger days, I was an idiot. What are you looking at me like that? In my younger days.
Yeah.
I'm no longer an idiot.
Younger days.
So I used to drive really fast. And I would
now
get
you've got me in the passenger seat when you're driving saying, slow down.
She's like that little angel on my shoulder.
You're going to get a ticket.
But I've always complied. I've never been shot. I've always complied. I've never had any issues of any kind because I've complied. And that's what you do. They're good guys. They're on your side. They're trying to keep you safe. If you're doing something dumb, they're trying to help you. So anyway, I've got a link to the story. I'm going to go drink some more coffee. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Every day, approximately 23 U.S. military veterans take their own lives. Big Paws Canine Foundation is helping to decrease that number, providing service and companion dogs to our disabled veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty. Partnering a hero with a specifically trained dog significantly reduces the incidence of suicide, and your support makes all the difference. Find out how you can help our American heroes. Join the pack at BigPawsCanine.com.
Time now for fake news or Florida. Tell me, Heidi, is this something that really truly happened in the great state of Florida, or is it fake news made up just to trick you? You ready for this one?
I'm ready.
All right, tell me, Heidi. A 12-year-old middle school student handed out marijuana-laced gummy bears to his classmates and sent 5 of them to the hospital with hallucinations. Fake news or Florida?
Florida.
It is a true story. I think we talked about that, didn't we?
That's really sad. Not
that
gummy
is.
bears. We talked about somebody who brought his
brownies.
parents' pot brownies.
Yeah, it was his uncle's pot brownies. So this is a different story. That means there's multiple people doing this.
That's really sad.
It is sad. I mean, just get a grip on this stuff,
make
guys.
that stuff. Don't
let
make
your kids
it
take
within
it to
reach
school.
of kids.
It's a terrible idea. I've got a link in our show notes to this story, and we've got some good news to get to. It's all on the way.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and we've got good news right here, brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. I've got such a cool story today. Here's the headline. Tears flow as 88-year-old finally meets biological daughter that she thought had died at birth.
Oh, my gosh.
So 88 years old this lady is, and she finally gets to meet her daughter. And I think it's a cool story. This happened when she was only 18. She gave birth to her one and only child back in 1949. That, by the way, is the year my mother was born. When she asked to see the baby, the doctors told her the child had died. Now she's 88. She lives in an assisted living facility in Florida. Since 8 siblings that she had in her family passed away, she didn't think that she had any immediate family left. Then she got a card from a woman named Connie. The card included a phone number, and it said that she believed that she might be her long-lost daughter. They don't explain why the doctors misinformed her. There's no explanation whatsoever as far as what happened. This young lady's adopted mother had passed away when she was only 5, so she doesn't even know the story there. But says for years she fantasized about her biological mother coming to her rescue. Well, this did not happen. She was given an Ancestry DNA kit at a Christmas as a Christmas present from her 50-year-old daughter last year. And when she did that, she found out that, hey, you know what? I've got a mother that's out there.
That is crazy.
So I think this is really cool. I've got a link to the story. 69 years separated these two have been. So, and this lady found out not only do I have a daughter, but she's got at least one grandchild because that was the person who gave the DNA test. So I just think this is so cool. And, you know, who knows what happened in 1949 when the doctors told her the baby didn't make it. So if they rolled the baby into a room, and back then they didn't have the same systems we have now.
And just
so
mixed it up with another
somebody
child.
else's daughter passed. Who knows? Just a sad story.
Or
but
maybe the parents didn't want her to have the
Who knows?
child, and they gave the baby up for adoption.
Don't know.
Because that used to happen
Rules
all
were
the
different
time
back then
too.
Again, just interesting story, but a really cool happy ending, and a link to it in the show notes at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday.